I thought I whatever I had seen on TV. So I was like, I want to work luxury. I want to work new construction. I want to work all the fancy stuff. And then what I learned is I did like that, but I was like 22 or 23 and I didn't have any money and I didn't know anything about luxury and I didn't know you don't know what you don't know. And it's more principle than price point there. So I was like having to buy a chandelier and a rug because we were fighting over the rug. They were going to kill a deal over that. And I was like, oh, this isn't fun. Then I got into traditional real estate. And then I got into, Jeff was doing investment stuff and I got into that. And somehow I never thought I would like that. And I love that so much. I have a spreadsheet for everything. And so for me, I would just recommend for every new agent just to be open to trying a little bit of everything and then being open to failing if it's not great, or find someone who's already done it at a high level and follow them around. But I think that when we're new agents, we get really overwhelmed, especially when you first join EXP. There's so many resources and so many emails, and oh, you got to sign up for this, and here's our referral partners, and here's our tech, and don't forget to do your marketing and your launch. And then the sponsor has a list of stuff, and then you've got this mentor. And so I think it's really important for this Zoom for us to go over what is that money making activity? What should you focus on? And as sponsors, what can we do we can't make people be successful, but what can we do to help ensure the most successful route possible?
Yeah, I like that. Since you mentioned a work sponsor, I think it's really important. I got some feedback. Yeah, I think we're good. I think it's really important to use your sponsor as a guidance, if you will. Your sponsor, your mentor, they might not be your coach, but they've been there, they done that, they get a lot of bruises, they got beat up, they get up, and then they keep doing the business. So if you figure out the right question to ask your sponsor or your mentor to guide you, that I think alone would save a lot of time. That's just a It's a little bit different than coaching. I don't know how you can describe it, but coaching, they try to give you an objective and then they stay on it with you. The mentor and the sponsor, they have a guidance. So first of all, when I started real estate, I look for guidance. Okay, where I should go if I gonna go buy an investment property, what kind of question would I ask, stuff like that. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It's very different from coaching. But for me, one of the success that I get early on is because I get a lot of guidance from Jeff or Amanda, from the mentor, the people I looked up to, and I just learned to figure out how to ask them the right question. That's the key. You have to ask the right question. If you don't ask the right question, it's really hard to work with the sponsor.
Yeah, I could see that. I will say it's hard to, you're great. You're extroverted, and I would say squeaky. Tell everybody to be squeaky. You know what to ask for. And if you don't know,
Exactly.
ask a bunch of questions. And a lot of times I feel like we're like, oh, we're going to bother them, or they're too busy, or I don't want to get in their way, or oh, this is a silly question. In my experience, and God, we've been here we're now almost 10 years. The loudest, most squeakiest, most, oh my God, they're texting me again. Why are they calling me again? Those are the most successful leaders that have joined our company because they are dedicated on mastering a subject and they're relentless about it. And so I think that that's so important. I wanted to share, and speaking of information overload, EXP has really gone out of their way just this last year. I feel when we and I and Jeff joined, we had to create videos and trainings, and we were making up all the things of here's an EXP explained, and here's what you should do, and here's our team playbook. EXP has done years and years of research, and they've organized it all to this one link, which is awesome because you don't have to have a bunch of landing pages and things. If you guys want to click on that, again, go back to what's relevant to that person when they join. It might be that they're brand new and their teams is not relevant unless they're joining a team. It might be mentorship that's important, or how do I work with my first buyer or seller? How do I pick my CRM and which one is important for me? That link is so detailed and there's so many videos and content. That is now my big thing that I share with new agents is, hey, yes, we need to do your business launch. We need to do a business plan. We need to know what you're already doing in life and what aligns with your business by design rather than telling everyone to make 40 phone calls a day. But then here's the resources that EXP can offer to you that you can pick through. Because a lot of people, they either jump into Team Legacy full time and then they don't do anything EXP related, or they jump into EXP and then they don't really get any of the resources that Team Legacy offers. So I think it's important to go over all that.
Yeah. And for me, Amanda, one of the things that I noticed that I start to pay attention to the kind of conversation that I'm having, what type of conversation that I'm enjoying. So I try open house. I don't quite enjoy the conversation between me and the people that come to open house. They have a different mindset. They're looking to, let's say, move into Houston. They ask me where the TV is, where the kid would play. That kind of conversation that I personally don't enjoy. But again, right, when it comes to, but if somebody asking me about cash on cash return, about return on investment, how should I put down, what is the interest rate, what is the strategy to cash flow the house right on, and all of a sudden they have the energy and they have the light in me to go forward and carry that transaction. So that would be one tip if you guys want to write down is a type of conversation that you enjoy. Do you enjoy working, having a conversation with a first-time home buyer? You enjoy having a conversation with distressed home seller? You enjoy having a conversation with agent? Those things that doesn't drain you, you're gonna spend more time on it and you're gonna be more successful on it. So feel free to chime in, but that would be one note that I would write down, especially as a checkpoint for new agent and when you want to try different things. What type of conversation that I enjoy having every day, and then see if you can niche down on that and explore that option.
So we have some like solid sponsors in the Zoom. And even I saw William, you had posted, bless your heart, like you had brought on 7 people and then all 7 had left. And I know that people quit real estate all the time. Some of them go to different brokers and some of them just quit in general. But I'd love to hear from some of y'all on what you think is relevant, what gaps you're seeing, and then we can show you, because there are so many resources, what we're either doing or what EXP is doing and guide you.
Yeah. So feel free to open your mic, Sarah, William, Teddy, just share with us your experience. And especially, I want to hear from you how, as a new agent, everybody was lost, and how do you eventually find what you're good at and then go all in and explore it?
I love that too, by the way. And I'm mildly addicted to, I'm nosy and I want to know everything about people. And so if you ever have an agent that joins, I don't want to do that, be the end all be all. Here's my person, do everything for me. But if you're a sponsor and they're getting signed up and they want to do a business launch where they want to go over what are their goals, why real estate, what do they want to do every day, how often do they want to do it, and the whole business plan of how am I going to be successful. And they can incorporate EXP stuff and also just sales. You can totally connect with me, and I would love to do that with one of your new agents.
All right, well, I have one of the new agents here with us, Jay, and I think that he won't say anything because he's too nice. But I think one of the ways I've struggled is he's probably my 5th or 6th mentee, and each one I've dealt with in a non-conforming way. I personally like structure a little better, and so I went away from structure in order to be able to get others to learn. And some of them were learning from my experiences that I had. Some were learning from on the job experience, taking them to listings, showing them how we show houses, things like that. And I've gone through EXP's mentor program. I don't like the way it's structured because I think it jumps way ahead to things that don't matter for real estate or matter as much for a realtor getting their career off the ground. It's they put some of the advanced stuff up front. What I've struggled with, Jay, again, Jeremy, it's my fault, is the structure. So I started working on it and say, okay, here's our next 4-week plan. Here's our next 8-week plan. He hasn't seen the 8-week plan, but something's, hey, let's get started on your CRM. Let's start calling your sphere. Let's build up your CRM. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to understand how to have conversations with buyers, how to have conversations with sellers. And so I think what the EXP mentor program, it just bombards you with a lot of stuff that's overwhelming up front, and not the stuff when I became successful was helpful to me. So I think that's where I've struggled as a mentor, is having that really basic plan to get people step by step get going, and then being able to go out on their own.
I think that's great feedback. We've got in Basecamp, let me find the link. It's just Realtor 101. There's some stuff that might be Texas related if it talks about a certain form, but I think almost all of it is just like learn how to time block and build your database and all like the basic fundamentals. Let me find that and share that with you guys.
Yeah.
I think,
And,
go ahead.
oh yeah, I'm gonna go say this real quick and then I'm gonna give it back to you, Amanda. But Teddy, I have the same concern with you, and trust me, I already sent the feedback back to the mentor program. So they're working on a lot on improving the mentorship program. For now, the best bet for you is to send Jay. Jay, if you're listening, you need to go to EXP University right now and you need to sign up for FastCap. So FastCap is a program that we are sending all the newer agents to instead of the mentor program. It's very structured and they measure that by results. So if you finish FastCap, you can expect a certain result from that particular agent. I would send people to FastCap instead of the mentor program, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's done that.
Perfect.
Thank you. That's great reinforcement.
Yeah. But trust me, I have the same issue that you have, Teddy. You're not the only one. Not all mentor created equally. And speaking on that subject, mentor and mentee, it has to be a bond, right? For me personally, it has to be a chemistry between the two. It cannot be randomly picked. It's just so hard for me to mentor somebody that I'm not clicking with, right? If they want to learn about open house, I know nothing about open house, but if you want to learn about short-term rental, mid-term rental, and all related investment, I'm all in for you. So mentee and mentor, it has to be a chemistry, it has to be a click. Just take some time, Jay, take some time around. First of all, figure out what you really looking for, and then ask Teddy, ask me, and then eventually you're gonna find the right mentor. So I'm gonna say that again, not all mentor created equally. We don't have the same skill set and we don't come from the same background. So you have to pick the one that fit your need, and then as you level up, you can move up with the person that help you grow.
I just shared in the link. This is like just we did a 30-day challenge, but this is something for you could use it as a 30-day launch. And it has everything from setting up your bull trail, scheduling your open houses, where you could do script practice. If you could design your perfect week and time block, what would that look like? And then even mindset wise, because I know someone had put on there, if you're a new agent, how do you have the confidence to go out there and secure business if you don't really have faith in what you're doing because you haven't done it yet? So how to overcome those objections. But it has a little bit of everything. How to like every day market either an open house for your business or what to do each day. And then it also includes scripts that we use on our team. And the whole idea is it says, don't practice until you get it right. Practice until it's like impossible to get it wrong. You almost just internalize what to say. So if you do have someone who, ask you how's the market or why would I use you or what's your unique value proposition, you know exactly what you're doing. And within 30 days, you'll have a great outline of I think habits. I read something the other day and it said everybody's, oh, do it for a year or do it for 90 days. If you just do it for 3 weeks, like 21 days consistently every single day, that's something that's easy to commit to. It's not too scary. And by the end of those 3 weeks, you'll know if you're getting results and you want to continue doing it because you like it, or if it doesn't work and then you only committed 3 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, I really want to hear from Jeff. I'm just curious, Jeff, how did you start out in the beginning? You try out different thing and you suck at it, and then eventually you find your niche in like cold calling or investing. Can you share us if you remember your earlier journey? Can you share that with us so that way we can learn from it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I joined a real estate sales team, I joined the Keller Williams office and I didn't want to try to figure it out all by myself. So I just asked around who's the best team, who sells the most properties in this office. And they told me that Renee Cirola sold the most homes in the office. So I just went straight to Renee and I was like, I'm a new agent. I want to be on your team or whatever. He was saying he wasn't hiring any agents at the moment, but what he'll do is he'll send some leads my way. And if I can close them, then he can join the team. I started closing his deals and then he added me on his team.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to, yeah, there's a fast cap program. You should go in that. You should jump in. You should get a mentee. You should do all that. But there's a real benefit, especially if you're a new agent, just to join a team and let them and go to college, if you will. And what I mean by go to college is you're going to spend some money. You're gonna have a split. Okay. Maybe your split is 50%, maybe it's 60%, maybe it's 25%, but it's the same mindset as if you're going to pay to learn something high level, you're gonna have to pay for that. Again, I went straight to his team. I did my 50-50 split for probably about 3 years.
Wow.
And then he ingrained the way that he ran his business is how we teach our agents is just the more calls you make, the more money you're gonna make. So really contacts, we had 20 contacts a day. Sometimes that would take 50, 60, maybe 100 dials
Oh,
to get
wow.
contacts. But what he said, and it wasn't that bad, it's just 20 contact a day. Doesn't seem like that much, but really it adds up because that's 100 a week. That's 400 to 500 a month. That's 1,000 a year. So if you're just closing 1% of your potential contacts, you're closing 60 deals a year.
Wow.
Backward engineered it and taught me that. So in the meantime, I was dialing buyers, I was dialing sellers, FSBOs, expires, terminateds, internet leads, cold call leads, you name it. We're just dialing because my main goal really wasn't the end goal. My main goal was just to get 20 contacts that day. And what that led up to, like I was saying, is this following up because some of those contacts are new lead generation contacts. But another one of those are follow-ups from leads that he's sent over or leads that you've gotten. And another couple of contacts, up to 5 a day, were previous clients and maybe your sphere. Like if you were to call someone, they would know who you are, kind of thing. So that was a good, easy way to get 5. But really, and then zoned in on that with specific scripts. And he zoned in and taught me, and I teach people there's going to be 5 or 6 buyer objections that you're going to hear. And here are the scripts to get over that. There'll be 5 or 6 seller objections that you're going to hear. Here are the 5 or 6 scripts you're going to accomplish to get over that. And then same thing in the meeting. When you're meeting with a seller, there's going to be 5 or 6 objections that they're going to tell you, and you need to be prepared. And here's the answer. He would always tell me, I have the lottery ticket because I've already done it. I know this is a winner. I just need you to scratch it off. So me and Mikey, I think Mikey's on the Zoom too. Me and him joined his team. When Mikey moved to Houston, Mikey, I don't know if y'all know that he just moved in with me. I lived in an apartment. He moved in with me. And I was like, dude, you're going to join this sales team, Renee. It's going to be a grind, and let's just do it. And he did the same thing. He jumped in. He was working at Verizon Wireless, and he just jumped in, did the same thing as me. So it's a different market now, but really that's the foundation of my business. I'm just lucky to have that as my foundation, because now you can generate really nice, better leads and stuff like that. But really the ABC, the old school rate of doing it still works. It's simply just getting on the phone and talking to people every day. It's almost like a recession-proof business. So having done that, sorry, that's a long answer.
Oh, this is really good. Keep going.
Yeah, having done that led me to investors, and a couple of the listings that I got, an investor made an offer on it. And I said, hey man, this is a great offer. It just didn't seem real. It's damn near a full price cash offer. You want to close in 2 weeks? And he's like, yep, I'm actually looking to buy 400 or 500 homes this year. And then my ears perked up. And I said, okay, if you can close this one, I'd love to meet with you and show you how I can do that and develop that. So that's when I first learned about the buy box and stuff. And that guy happened to be a guy that was an acquisitions manager for American Homes for Rent. Their job was to purchase properties and turn them into rentals. So they once he said they want 400 or 500 a year, I was like, all right, let's get to work. I actually pulled in Mikey on that one. And I was like, all right, I talked to this guy. I think he's legitimate. Yes, Renee is going to continue to send us leads. We need to knock out those leads. But if we're done with our dials and stuff like this, we need to look for deals for this guy because he's legit. Anyway, I think I probably sourced 50, 60 deals for him after that. And then the next year, probably the same amount. And then I actually created a sales team, left Renee's team. I created a sales team, and then to target those type of investors. And then right out the box, we were selling 200 to 300 homes a year. And people, oh crap, how you doing that? You only been in there 4 or 5 years. And I was like, I found a buyer that needs 500 houses a year. It's not easy, but that's all I do every day is look for deals for them. So anyway, I just went that way with investors. I didn't go the new construction route. I didn't go the new home buyer route, but it was just nice because I was instilled with scripts that I still have today. And I was instilled with the mindset of just making calls to make more money. And then now we have we have a ton of investors, but we have 3 or 4 really large investors that buy and sell constantly, kind of keep us busy.
Wow, that is really good, Jeff. So a couple main points that I want to reiterate, and Amanda, feel free to chime in. I think a lot of people right now, we actually go to the team leader in the group and we ask to be in that team. And most of the answer is going to be no, because number one, the team leader don't know you. They don't know if you can perform. They don't know anything about you, and it's actually cost them money to bring you onto the team. So if you do what Jeff said, like, hey, told me some really bad deal that you have, let me work them and let me prove to you that I can close this deal. This is how you can build trust with the team leader. And then if they see you perform, if they see you persistent and consistent and work hard, and for sure they will want that agent on the team. Yeah. But I think a lot of problem when you go to interview for the team leader, the first question will get you out the door is that, do you provide lead? If you ask that, you're immediately gonna go out the door. They will not accepting you. So that is really the first thing that I keep seeing. People, they keep asking for lead, and that is like the wrong question when you talk to a team leader. That is the last thing they want to hear. So you need to do what Jeff does. So Jeff, thank you for bringing that up. And
I think
yeah, go ahead.
instead of thinking, what can you give to me? It's how can I hone my skill set? Like, how can I learn more, and how can I practice on the leads that you have?
That's a good one. How do you
Yeah.
practice on the lead that you have?
Yes. Something that I read that I loved is a lot of times we want to be paid as professionals. And if you follow like professional athletes every year, no matter who they are, if they're LeBron James, or I'm not great at sports, but anyone who's like great at sports, they go back to basic training every single year, despite how much money they make. Every year they have to go back to the fundamentals of, for us, it's scripts and negotiations and emotional intelligence and how to read people and how to keep deals together and how to be empathic on things like that. I put on here like the basic fundamentals that I think every realtor should know. And sadly, I'm still getting offers with checkboxes not complete, or people are paying way more than they should. And I think that this is a great, Sam, if you want to copy and paste this, you probably have done some of these already with Teddy. You go through your MLS orientation, but you don't really know how to run comps. You don't know what your inventory is. You don't know how to set up a search. You don't know how, when you finally get that first buyer, how do you write the offer? Because you haven't had like boot camp to practice writing offers and doing CMAs. And you get that first listing presentation and you probably haven't had a chance to practice on other realtors rather than practicing on your clients. And so this is something that's like a quick checklist of things that you're going to do every single day, every week as a realtor, that now is just second nature to us. But we didn't know how to negotiate and keep a deal alive if the roof was terrible or the foundation was bad or the appraiser flagged something. And now we're like, oh, we can fix that. We've seen that before. We can go over it. And you don't need 20 different lead generation sources. You need 2 or 3 and go really deep with those rather than going wide and being good at everything. Be really good at 1 or 2 things. And then how to track that you're on track or you're behind, some kind of a metric. And then something that I read that I think we undervalue is, what is your support system? Yes, EXP is incredible. Team Legacy is incredible. Teddy or your sponsor is incredible, but who else can you bounce off of? Because you are a business owner and you are like the CEO and you need a board of directors. And that can be someone that you trust that you can ask questions to. That can be, you need 2 or 3 lenders that you really trust with your clients. You need a couple title companies. You need to have everyone that you might use in business, a great inspector that you love and trust, in your back pocket, and tell them, hey, I'm building a business and I want you to be a resource and I want to be a resource too. And I think that checklist is something that will not only give you the skill set to be a successful realtor, but also start making you money right away.
Yeah, that's really good. And then going back to Jeff's main point, I think that the fact that Jeff built his business entirely based on contact, I think that is a skill that is more and more forgotten. We get more technological advances. Facebook is getting cheaper and cheaper to run ad, and there's some other aspect of marketing like Google page, like the one I have, that can generate a lead, but it's very, I would say, not as predictable as the contact. If I really love the fact that Jeff, he just reverse engineer, right? From 1,000 contact a year, if I can close 1% of that, will be 60 deal a year. And that really is just blow my mind. Business could be as simple as that. Just figure out how to make 20 phone call a day and expect 60 closing a year. It's hand down, that's simple.
And he's relentless on the phone, not in an aggressive way, but if you, let's say he called you, Hui, and you're like, no, I don't want to buy, it's never a no, it's a not right now. He's going to go, that's okay. Can I follow up with you in 3 months? Can I follow up with you in 6 months? Who do you know? And then anytime you say anything, he'll say, tell me more about that. That way, it's not just like an end of a conversation. Oh, sorry, they told me no. And the tell me more about that could be, I'm relocating. Tell me about that. And it might be that boss has 20 people that they're relocating to Houston, or that boss is moving other people and starting a new company in another city. And that question, tell me more about that, has brought him so much more business. And it takes 10 seconds, but it builds rapport. You're getting that emotional, why are you doing it? That way you can have leverage for those objections that pop up when things get hard. But I think every time that you talk to someone, that is an opportunity for you to make money. It might not be through that person. Same thing with recruiting. I would have never met Teddy, but I met a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who knew Teddy, and now I get to meet Sam. And so just know that person on the phone might be your client, hopefully, but asking those deeper questions and being pleasantly persistent will get you a totally different network and database that those people have access to.
Yeah, I love that. And then Jeff, you also mentioned script. If you go to the website that Amanda shared earlier, the EXP toolkit, the landing page, you're gonna have the buyer toolkit, and you're gonna have the seller toolkit. Inside there, you're gonna find the most 3, let's say the most 3 and 5 common objection. If you master that, or the appointment or the phone call, they will eventually nail down to this couple objection. And if you instill it in you, you can easily get over those objections to overcome those objections on the phone. Yeah, so really good point. Yeah, so I really want to open the floor up, Amanda. So that way, I know May, I don't know if you have any tip for new agent when you start. How do you go into your niche of new construction and helping first-time home buyer? And if there's any producer, team leader here, I would love to hear your story. Are you doing the same thing as Jeff? Just hitting the phone, 20 contacts a day? Or how do you build your business that eventually you can get to where you are today?
Yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot, Hui. So one thing that I feel like real estate is so interesting because what I did is quite like completely different from Jeff. And then Jeff was still like successful in the way that he is, and I'm still building my team in the way that I'm doing my business. This is my 5th year in real estate, and I remember when I first started, I of course trying to figure out what some of the my platforms that I want to build my business. So I sit down and I pick out like at least 3 platforms that I want to build my business. Number one, I know that I really personal connection and I want to grow it on my social media. So I realized that I cannot be a secret agent in a way, even though that I start out part-time and I still have my full-time job, and all of the part-timer, they're gonna understand what I have to debate in order to put my business card up on social media, because that's a risk that I associate with it. But I know that it's impossible to be successful if you are like just a secret agent. So I'll make sure that everything when it comes to my business, I put it on social media. And that's how I share different listings, different open house opportunity that I host. And in that way, I was able to expand my sphere of influence. I was able to get to connect with so many people that not in my circle. Like, for example, if I see a new construction in Katy that is really inexpensive, then I'll just share a post on social media on my Facebook, and I shared it in different local groups, and that's how I get my very first clients. I also do open house. I know that a lot of people turn down when it comes to open house, and one thing that probably need to be a requirement when it comes to open house is that you just have to be patient, because when we host open house, you cannot expect that, oh, I already host 2 open house per weekend for a whole 1 or 2 months, but there's nothing coming back. It's a consistent that's gonna help you, and you never know. They're gonna be. I met an investor that come into my open house, and then even though they had an agent back then, but we were able to connect at the open house, and ending up after 5 years he's still buying houses with me. And without that open house when I first started, it's impossible for me to build that client base. Yeah, and then the last one would be I joined a lot of local events, and I want to connect with other people and kind of mention here and there that give them market update. I add values to it. Everyone asks about what is your trusted handyman, who do you trust when it comes to a plumber. So I become that real estate gal that if anyone is looking for a contact, they're gonna ask me, and that's how I start building my client base. And I love new construction, how you mentioned it, right, Hui? Because it's so many options, and especially in this market, there's so many good deals right now when it comes to in the new construction, and you can connect, you can sell easier, I feel like, when you sell new construction. And yeah, a lot of incentive. So back then, that was how I started.
Yeah, really good stuff. One thing I like about May, so you guys can see, this is two, we in real estate, but the business is structured very differently. Jeff proactively reaching out, making 20 contacts a day. Why May, she makes sure that everybody know her. If you go to, she used to be a TV host, so she's take advantage of that. So you lean in on your unfair advantage. You leverage local event, you leverage Facebook group. You make sure everybody in the community know you, and they know that you do real estate. If I would say if you make 1,000 people know you, and know that you're in real estate, your conversion should be around 60 houses a year as well. So as far as I said with Jeff, really good. Cool.
Something I don't know if you guys were on that John Maxwell Zoom the other day. It was like so impactful, but he said some of us are always worried about, oh, I'm going to bother them or I followed up too much. And he says he's made, God, I don't even know how many millions of dollars, but he said ultimately his life is really simple. Every day he wakes up and he brings value to as many people as possible. And he's like, if you're in the business of impact and bringing value to people, you will always make money. And so you as a real estate professional who knows how to run comps and knows how to find good deals and knows how to negotiate it, you're going to make such a huge impact on that client who wouldn't be able to do that without you. And having that mindset of, I went to school for this, I have a mentor for this, I've got a great support system, I just need to bring value to as many people as possible, that will help you not be nervous in making those phone calls or reaching out, or if you're at the store or yoga or coffee shop or wherever it is that you do kids sports, you won't be nervous to say, hey, I'm in real estate, I love what I do, I'm trying to help as many people as possible. Who do you know that I can help? And that's putting yourself out there rather than being a secret agent should more than double your business. It's all about mindset.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people on here that either have been new before or who have sponsored people before or have seen new agents either thrive or totally bomb it and quit the industry altogether. What are some things as a new agent that you've seen that are either success signs, like, okay, this guy did this and he was so successful, or this person joined and they were just so overwhelmed or they didn't know what to do that they ultimately just quit real estate altogether? What are some things to look out for or to be aware of that you guys have seen? We can learn from everyone.
Yeah, I can start first to give you guys some time to lead. I just gonna piggyback from Jeff and especially Maya as well in the beginning. Maya actually worked some really hard lead that I gave her as well. So that's a trend that I noticed from new agent. They don't mind the hard work. They don't mind like, give me the lead that I can practice on. I don't mind the hard work. Let me do some network for you. Just let me do something and learn from it. So their objective is, yeah, money is good, but their objective is actually, hey, let me learn the business. So that's a mindset I see that differentiate between the agent that stay in the industry for a longer time versus the one that, hey, where is the next? What is the fastest way to make $10,000? If that makes sense. Yeah. So I see that similarity in Jeff and May. They actually want to learn the business and they don't mind pay to actually learn the business. So that's just my take. That's the one thing that I see consistently when I coach people. They really want to learn the business or not, or they just want to make some money, move on, if that makes sense.
That's so true. Yeah, that was you. You were like, I'm going to be in front of your office all day, every day for 6 months, and I'm picking up whatever you guys are talking about.
Okay, let me learn. Yeah. So that's the major mindset I see. I keep seeing over and over.
We do this Zoom for y'all, so if there's anything you want to say or chime in, we love being here, but we don't want to just have a Hui and Amanda and Jeff show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also like you've got to get up every day having intention and doing things intentionally each day. I know that for sure. And time blocking is a huge thing for me, but I read this or I posted this thing the other day that was saying that real estate agents wake up every day unemployed.
Yeah.
And they have to get up and get out there and find that business and find that work and stuff. And then also, Lee, I completely agree with you. Try to learn as much as possible and then put it into practice, because that's where you're going to grow more than anything. I always try to take pride in being a resource in real estate and just helping anybody, even other agents that aren't even in EXP. I always give out my information as, hey, if you need anything, I am a mentor at EXP, but if you need anything at all and you want to bounce an idea off of me, like, I'm here for you. And I don't know, that always seems to help me, because they'll ask me questions that either I don't know the answer to, or I have to think about it and then really put forth what I have learned into practice again.
Yeah, I love that, Sarah. And I gotta piggyback on that. Everybody feel free to chime in. But you mentioned the word intention. That's also the major difference that I see between agent that stick it and make it in the industry versus the one that having a hard time. They're very intentional about their action. They wake up every day. Everything they do is intentionally either to increase their production, increase their rev share, or increase their investment business. So it's not random. And the best metaphor that I can explain, because I'm a tennis player, people get on a tennis player and you see them hitting the ball. But a lot of people like me, I have coaching, I hit the ball very intentionally. I have goal and I have objective in this particular practice. I will make sure that I hit the ball top spin, cross court with high clearance over the ball. That is my intention for today's practice. That is my intention for this week, is to practice that particular shot in that particular target. From the outside looking in, you can see me, you can just see people hitting ball back and forth. And again, I'm using metaphor here. A good tennis player, they are very intentional about their shot. They know exactly where their shot is going versus an average player. They just hit the ball randomly and they get a workout. They have a great time and they go home. From the outside seeing in, We are all busy, we all doing stuff, but the one that do stuff intentionally is the one who make a difference. If you keep hitting the ball randomly, if you keep doing random action in your business, it's very hard to move to get to the next level. So that's the best metaphor that I can give to new agent. You have to do things with intentional. It looked the same to me that you busy, but are you intentional, right, in building your business?
I love that. There's so many of us that are busy, and then you're like, are you really being productive? There's something I read once and it said, wake up every morning and say, what's one thing that I can do that will move the needle for my business today? Just one thing that will grow my business or help my skill set by 1% every single day. Do that one thing first. And that makes you really think, is this a money-making activity? Is this going to make me a better business owner? Or am I just getting distracted by all the shiny stuff?
So one trick for me, one tool that I use to keep my year, my month, and my week and my day intentional. Amanda, I use Trello. I think everybody is familiar with Trello. Trello, you can do it on your spreadsheet as well, but you can break down like, hey, this is 2025. This is all the goal that I have in 2025, and in order to achieve my yearly goal, what do I need to do monthly, right? In order to achieve this goal, and in order to achieve this monthly goal, what do I need to do? What do I need to do weekly? And then you break it out in order to do it, in order to achieve the weekly goal, what do I need to do daily? And then you go one level down in order to achieve the daily goal. What is the thing that I need to do every day? And then you go backward, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and then yearly. But it all go to the major objective of the year. So that way you stay on track. You don't hit the ball randomly or you don't do random things. So if that makes sense, just that simple Trello board. If you look at it every day before you start your day, that will help so much. So you stop doing random stuff.
I think it'd be easier if we could say it was complicated. Like, I think we always try to overcomplicate things and make it shiny and fancy and all these things. And really, it is something, a simple, repeatable process. And the people who are the most successful do the stuff maybe they don't feel like doing because they know that it's going to lead to those results.
Yeah.
I have a sheet like that, and I'm always showing Jeff. I'm like, look, I'm this many away from my goal, and look, I did this. Oh, this one fell through. Now I'm this many away from my goal, and if I hit this, we're gonna do this. And I think it drives him crazy, but for me, it keeps me going. I'm like an adrenaline rush of I'm so close to my goal, or I'm on track, or I'm behind, or I'm ahead. And so, any way that you can measure those metrics to make sure you're on track, it's empowering. You can't change what you don't measure. Nikki asked if you could share your Trello board.
Yeah, it's very simple, Nikki. It's just like you have your lifetime objective, yearly objective, monthly objective, and then you just break it down. It's nothing spectacular. It's super simple. Yeah.
She said Ferrari goal. I will say something that Hui does that I love, and I don't know if you guys follow, who's that? Mr.
What's that?
That YouTube star, not Mr. Big. Beast. Mr. Beast. So he's a YouTube whatever, like superstar, totally loaded, does all kinds of cool, crazy stuff. But if you follow his story when he was young, he did a YouTube and he said, I'm going to schedule this video to hit 1 year from now. And 1 year from now, I'm going to have this many followers and be doing this much at YouTube. Yeah. And then the same age, he was like a teenager. 5 years from now, I'm going to have 10 million followers. And then he did it, and he goes, this is going to be out into the open, like to the world. I'm going to feel like such a failure and so embarrassed if I didn't do it. And he was just putting it out into the universe. And Hui does that. He actually sent an email to all of the leaders that he respects. And he said, 1 year from now, this is what my group's going to look like. This is what we're going to be doing. This is my objection. And I'm putting it out there and planning for that. And that's how our brain works, is there's so much that we have to experience that we filter things that we need to make sure are relevant to us, and for you to put that out there and then tie some people to it. So there's that accountability. Your brain starts to go, hey, is that going to bring me success? Does that bring me closer to my goal? Let's pay attention to that.
It's actually one of the exercise from the Fast Cap program, Amanda. Yeah. So back to the Fast Cap and Fast Attract program. The program is not, they're not speaking at you. You have like homework and you need to do that. For me, I just completing my assignment and that helped.
So cool. I will say you're one of the few people that I've worked with closely that if you tell you to do something, you just do it. There's not what if, or could I do it a different way? You're like so coachable and regimented on, if I do this, then I know that I'll get this result. So I'll just do it and no questions asked. And so you're an action taker, which I think it's hard for me. I'm like getting in my own head, or could I do it a different way? Or could I do it later? Or is it really important, or why? And then you almost analysis paralysis.
Oh, trust me, we always have those moments. Awesome. Cool. Anything else? You on mute, Amanda? You're on mute. But I was gonna say, do you guys have anything else before we end the call? We're getting close to the top of the hour. Yeah. I really want to hear from you guys. Your story, Jennifer, Jay, Nikki, Michael. Thanks for joining, Christine.
One thing that I want to kind of pin out as well, that I start seeing more of the new construction listings from Michael Jones and Nikki as well. What I like about it is, for example, Michael, he lives way in the north, and he was asking how he can increase his price range or how he can find more buyer when it comes to new construction. And then we mastermind and decide that if he lists more of, not list, but he can post more of new construction or good deal in Conroe, then that's gonna start catching people attention. And then when I start seeing it, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, that's great. Now I can kind of associate Michael and Conroe and new construction in the price range of 400 all together. And that would be the same for Nikki, because she have her background in CPA, and she is excellent at running numbers. So she always shoot after when it comes to, investor friendly, buy this one and you're gonna have a tenant right away. So once she does those video, it's catch people attention immediately. And that's how I feel like, oh my gosh, like these people are rocking it even in this market. And it's really make them standing out. It's catch my attention immediately when I pull up my Facebook.
Very good. Very good.
That is true. The most successful people have something you tied to it. Like I'm like Teddy, Nutella, Hui, cash flow, Jeff, like investor, May. I'm like, okay, she's on TV, she does YouTube stuff. So everybody's got like a little something. And as long as they're thinking of you and then thinking of real estate, it's a win, because there's so many realtors out there. You've got to find a way. Teddy Nutella. Sorry. But it's deeper than that. It's Teddy Nutella, but then it's like you personal and funny, and he knows his stuff, and he gives closing gifts. And so it just ties to it. So just like social media.
Yeah, and it really works, because I get people like, oh, you're working with the Nutella guy. So like other people recognize when we put a sign up, and they'll go and say, oh, I know that guy, you're working with the Nutella realtor.
Yeah.
So it's fun. And we've thought about it. It's been going on a long time now. We thought, hey, we need a refresh or something, but it just keeps working, and it's subtle, so it's not too over the top, so it works.
I think it's perfect. Mama bear. Yeah, I've got 3 kids, so they're like, oh, that's that realtor who also has a bunch of kids. Find something that is relatable that you can remember. But for me, for Teddy, I think it's brilliant. And then something, if you guys ever need to reach out to us, I know we spammed you with a bunch of links, but that teamlegacyorganization.com has every resource that we have. And at the bottom right is a little question thing where you can message us, and that actually goes directly to my email. So if you ever have a new agent, or you've got a question, or you can't find a resource, or you're like, I tried to do this business build out thing and she wants to do something completely different than what I do, I want to set up a meeting with Amanda or Jeff or Hui or whoever, just message us on there or text us or email us. But we really want to keep doing this to bring value to you guys, because the analogy that I thought was so cool that John Maxwell was talking about is when we give to someone and we want to make an impact, the only way to really make a great impact is if those people turn around and make an impact on someone else. And so when you're pouring water into something, it's either a fountain, or it cycles, or it's a drain, or it's just gone. And so our theory is we want to have this beautiful fountain of agents pouring into agents. And so we really want to set you guys up to be the most successful realtors and sponsors as possible. That way, when your agents join, they'll be like, oh, I had a great sponsorship EXP experience. I want to turn around and do the same thing, and the fountain will continue. So we're really committed to that.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Just to wrap things up in Houston, I'm gonna launch another lunch and lavish. So that event has been going really well. If you are local, if you're not in Houston, I would encourage you to go ahead and start your own lunch and lavish. So that way you can gather and build your local community together. And William, I'm looking forward to see you there. But it's a great way to connect and grow your group. So yeah, do lunch and lavish. The one in Houston is coming up soon, and I'm looking forward to see a lot of lunch and lavish around different cities that we have in Team Legacy.
He was smart. He went to a place that was really nice, but you ordered your food and paid at the same time. So that way everybody bought their own meal. It didn't cost us anything, and everybody got to hang out and collaborate. We didn't have to have a sponsor, which was really nice.
Yeah, pick a place. Yeah, pick a place that you can come in, order first. So everybody pay for their own lunch. You come in, you order first, and then you come sit at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really good.
And if you don't love that, like I do coffee and collaboration. Some people love book clubs or leadership mastermind or whatever it is. Just find a place that you can build that community. I think everybody's looking for that.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, Teddy, I will share with you what I do, so that way we can start the lunch and leverage in your area. Awesome. All right. Anything else, guys? Cool, cool. All right. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, May. Thank you, everybody.